Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
This video is the latest NCIS Season 17 discussion. We do have a new episode we will be breaking down on Tuesday night.
Yep.
But this is the latest on Ziva and what is going on, because what we know now is that there are going to be 2 more episodes coming.
Yep.
Not in the immediate future, but in the not too distant future.
Not that long off.
The holiday episode, the last episode of the year in mid-December, and then the first Tuesday of 2020, she will be back. Presumably, I mean, we don't know for sure, but I think we can say that this is probably going to be a 2-parter in some ways.
Feels like it.
Yeah.
If they're back to back, I like that. I feel like there's gonna be some sort of overall arc again.
Yeah, so we're going to talk in this video a little bit about what we expect that arc to look like, some of the things we're hoping to see, and just also some of the things that would make the most sense. But before we do, if you like this video, be sure to give us a like, subscribe to CARTERMATT on YouTube, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other updates we have coming your way. Alright, so let's just start, I guess, kind of big picture.
Yeah, I wanted to start with, before getting into like our theories and stuff, just about the idea that we are getting these 2 Ziva episodes during December and during January.
Yeah.
Because originally I felt if you're gonna have Cote come back, you're gonna have her for something like the finale, which we did in season 16, the premiere, which we did in season 17.
Yeah.
I expected that at least one of these episodes was either going to land in sweeps in February, or was going to land for that 400th episode, or even in the finale. So instead, we have right before Christmas, which is usually when more people are less around their TVs because everybody's at parties and seeing their family and traveling and stuff. And then January, which is kind of a bit of a dead period.
It's a weird decision to be made. I think it shows on some ways that they're not concerning themselves too much with just the live ratings during sweeps. I mean, Ziva has kind of brought them in a little bit of a bump when she has shown up. I mean, when she was just discussed last season, was one of the most watched episodes of that season, and that was in sweeps. I mean, I'm thinking, though, that there have to be some sort of creative or maybe just scheduling reasons for this. Maybe this was when Cote was available.
Yep.
Maybe they have other stuff that they're planning for February sweeps that felt natural to that.
Or maybe they have something else coming up with Cote. Just because she's only been announced for these 4 episodes, to me, the door is wide open now. I don't feel like this is just the end. Is it possible that they have something else planned for those times with her?
Yeah, I think
or without her. It could also be that maybe they want the sweeps to be focused on the crew that's there.
Yeah, and I think they have enough stuff now that's sort of open insofar as you have the stuff with Fernell at the end of last season.
Yeah.
Gibbs and Sloan. Yeah. Bishop and Torres.
And we haven't had a big Good McGee story yet.
Yeah, I know. And that's after like Once Upon a Tim last season, which is probably one of my favorite McGee episodes ever.
Yeah, me too. And then not really anything.
Yeah, and I mean, I've heard already that there's going to be stuff coming for Palmer. We're just not there yet. But as we start to kind of look individually at these episodes, I mean, one thing we do know is that Ziva and Palmer are going to spend some time together.
Yeah.
That has been confirmed by Brian Dietzen, and it sounds like, based on some of the interviews that Deanna Reasanover gave leading into her episode this past week, it sounds like Casey is going to at least meet Ziva at some point.
Which I'm very interested to see, because she was not that interested in going to meet her when she had the chance. She just was kind of like, meh.
Yeah, I think she's just like, you know what?
She's just a person.
Yeah, she's a person. I don't like her. I don't hate her. I don't know her. And that's kind of understandable. But I feel like we're going to get a little bit of that. But big picture, the question of it has to be, why is Ziva back now? Like, what's the push for it now? And when she left, it sounded like she had something else she wanted to take care of, and she didn't want to speak to Tony at that given moment. Yeah. What could that something be?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's been some theories floating around that maybe the Sahar that she dealt with is not actually her, that maybe there's people that are above her that still need to be taken care of. maybe there's something about the safety that's going on with Tolly. Maybe Tony's not safe. I feel like the only thing that's really going to bring her back or bring her out is to be reunited with her family. I mean, this was the whole reason she was in hiding. Mm-hmm. She did come out for Gibbs's family, so I understand why she came out. The only thing I can think of that's going to make her come out again is her daughter, because that's been her driving force this whole time. Obviously, she loves Tony, and Tony is there too, but this is her kid. So I feel that her being reunited with Tolly is the goal in these 2 episodes. I just feel it. I have no confirmation. This is just my gut feeling, is that this is going to be the time she's going to get to be reunited with her kid.
And I think that's probably where they're going with sort of the holiday spirit of this. Because, no matter what you celebrate, Christmas, Hanukkah, I mean, the real goal of holidays is family and being around the people who you love. And, I mean, on one side of the coin, you could say, okay, what if Tolly is kidnapped and, it's up to the NCIS team, and this is something where Ziva, I don't think Ziva's the sort of character that likes to burden the team much with things, but no. I think, this is obviously incredibly serious, and I think she would use whatever help that she could get. That would be compelling. I mean, it's a little bit dark, I guess, to have a kid get kidnapped.
At Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to go in that direction unless the reunion is like the happiest scene of all time.
Well, and I feel like it's going to be. That's the thing, is that I think if they did decide to go a little bit dark with that, that reunion is something that a lot of us have been waiting to see, and Ziva has been waiting for years to be reunited and have that safety and feeling of, bring her family back together again. So because that's been her real story arc in this, she wants to be reunited with her daughter. I feel like that's where the play is going.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing I could sort of think about is maybe you're having sort of like, there was already one big bad that was taken out. Yep. Maybe there's another secret big bad, a bigger bad that comes into the picture. And Ziva started to think that she had evaded all of them and she was ready to move forward. But this person has now emerged. And maybe this is sort of a circumstantial, this person is too much for me to take out on my own. This is the last time I'll ask you guys for help, though I hope that's not the last time we obviously see her.
Yep.
And then they work in order to help her. This to me, I think, is the part of this I have the most trouble kind of wrapping my head around. Holiday episodes generally, you want to end them in a way that is full of warm fuzzies, because you want people to go off and enjoy Christmas or whatever else they celebrate and just sort of feel these feelings. But because this is possibly a 2-parter, there could be some sort of like crazy screaming at your television, and there is no like metaphorical Merry Christmas here.
Yeah, there could be something that is a bit of a cliffhanger to bring us into the new year to get people to come back and watch. But it could be not a dark cliffhanger. It could be something like that she gets her daughter, they have they're reunited, and then in the doorway she looks and it's Tony cut to black. So there is still something that's a cliffhanger, but it's not a dark cliffhanger. It's something that's like making everybody so excited through the holidays to get to talk about that that reunion is going to pop off in January. It could be that's where I'm landing. Because if you've got the idea of Tolly coming back, how do you not have Tony there? He's taking care of her. That's her dad. So if Tolly was, say, kidnapped, Tony's going to be losing his mind, and he's going to be part of it, unless he's also kidnapped.
That's where I'm kind of going with this at the moment, because I'm thinking, you know what? Mike Weatherly's got Bull. He's a busy guy. Because of that, you probably can't get him for that all long. Maybe there's a situation where Tolly is in danger, or Ziva finally gets to have that reunion, but that's learned seconds later that Tony is not there, and she's just like, where is Tony? And then as it turns out, Tony has been kidnapped. Yep. That's sort of the cliffhanger, and then the first episode back is them finding Tony, and then you get maybe like 5 minutes of Tony at the end of the episode.
Yeah, I just don't feel like there's going to be a lot of Tony right now. It's just scheduling. I don't know how much they can really give to that. I mean, it is still CBS's #1 show, so if they wanted to throw some money at it, to be like, hey guys, anybody want to do some overtime, maybe work on the weekend, I feel like this would be a solid investment for them if they wanted to do that. And this feels like something that I think Michael would want to come back and do.
I feel like if we're talking about ideal scenarios here, I think the suggestion you brought to the table is probably the one that most people would enjoy, where you see
it'll drive them crazy. And it would drive me crazy too, to see him sort of in the doorway and you see that moment and then you get nothing else, almost like the phone call.
Yeah, or you could just have him like say a line off camera and then she looks in that direction and right before you see him it cuts to black. Like that is like the ultimate
I could absolutely see them doing that to us.
Yeah, that would be perfect, so that they don't have to have Michael credited as a guest star for 2 episodes. Yep. They can film it in a shorter period of time.
Yep.
It could work out, but I think we would both agree ultimately that NCIS, they want something really big, and I think they want something to be satisfying when it comes to Tony and Tali within these 2 episodes, because I think you're right that it does kind of open the door for more of Ziva down the road.
Once she's reunited with her family and all the threats are annihilated, the door is just wide open for her to be able to come back and actually work and just be sort of back in society, and of course she's going to need to work and do stuff like that. So I still feel like the best way to do that is to bring her in as sort of a specialized agent that comes in for very specific cases that they need her for. Reeves's desk is open, and I have heard online people like, oh well, they're not going to want to have a weird odd number of agents and it makes it all strange. But Reeves was awesome and I loved having him on the team, and it didn't feel awkward even for a second that he was there. So why would it feel any different for Ziva to be part of this team?
Yeah, it's really, I guess, just a question of, how much more does Cote want to come back and do things? I mean, it sounds like she's kind of taking a never say never approach. Yep. That with the right story, the right idea, she might be willing to come back. I think the most important thing is that we're not going to be living in that same sort of like sea of confusion and ambiguity that we were in previously, where we just didn't know what was going to happen to her, if she was going to come back, what it looked like if she would come back.
Yeah, now we know what it looks like, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun having her through 2 episodes. I think these next 2, it's going to be about sort of seeing that story through.
Yep.
But then once we get to that story being done, then you open up the door to, I feel like...
anything.
Yeah, I feel like almost anything. There is the 400th episode that we've talked about that is a perfect time to bring back some sort of past guest stars in some shape or form.
Yeah, typically big milestone episodes, you're gonna have people coming back from the past. It's just the nostalgia, and it's so good to see people from the past come back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they would do as Ziva-related cliffhanger 2 seasons in a row, because we just had this at the end of this last one, and I'm sure they'd probably want to mix things up, but maybe we can get another appearance or 2 from Ziva beyond the January episode.
Maybe she can be called in for help with her expertise.
Maybe so. Or maybe she can be like a dating your coworker consultant for Bishop and Torres.
And Gibbs and Sloan and everybody.
So. Yeah,
it
no,
seems like
point.
Everybody is maybe dating their coworkers here.
The will they or won't they is strong with NCIS at the moment.
Yeah, it is. Very surprising, but here we are.
Yeah, well, anyway, I think the thing that's most exciting is that if there is another season beyond this one, there will be plenty of chances to explore and kind of dive into some of that a little bit more. But for now, just want to hear from you guys. What do you want to see with Ziva coming back on NCIS for these upcoming 2 episodes? And do you have ideas beyond even that? Let us know your thoughts, your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking the link in the description to the CARTERMATT store. And we'll see you here next time.